What's going on, people? I feel like I had to address a little situation. I actually made a mistake in one of my videos, and I wanted to address it. Thanks to one of the person that's kind of trolling me in regards to this. And before we start off, I got to talk about what I'm rocking today, which is Roja Parfum Scandal. Um, what's so funny? Like when some people who try to act as if they know the law, try to break up a lot of case citations, and exactly it's harder when they can't actually read or they don't understand law. Now, I don't get into every citation of case law because I personally don't care. Let me explain. I know that case law is used to create an agenda. Okay. So in this video where I'm talking about no driver's license is required isn't a sovereign citizen argument. I'm not talking about from an aspect that the state cannot require you or the state cannot have a citation that a state cannot have a citation that requires you to possess a driver's license. The ability for the state to be able to legally prosecute this is nil. It doesn't matter if you have a driver's license or not. Well, sometimes I have to keep in mind that some of the people who come to your website um, don't actually care about what you're talking about. They just want to just troll or just be noticed. Well, I'll give you a little notice. So look, you couldn't be more wrong in your interpretation of the law. Possession of a driver's license or operator's license, the physical card with your picture on it indicates you have been given a license, meaning permission. Okay, the state cannot grant me a permission to do anything. They can if I accept it. That's why you would do an application. Okay, when you're applying for something, it's completely different. Okay, his understanding of the law, or her, I don't know who it is, their understanding of the law is piss poor at best. And this is not even me insulting them. Just because a state or a legislature passes a law, if it's repugnant to the Constitution, a judiciary can they can uh, fail, or not. They can actually reject the statute. Okay, because there's many things in a traffic stop that go on that allows you to actually get out of the prosecution of that case, because it's repugnant to the Constitution. Okay, now a police officer can stop me. I'm not saying they can't stop me. I'm not saying the legislature can say you must have a driver's license on you. Okay, even though the citation that he's reading doesn't even say that. So technically, I was only wrong in this video about the actual statute saying that no driver's license required isn't a sovereign citizen argument. Now, let me go into what he's saying. Okay, the rest of this is really just dumb stuff. So, okay, the requirement to possess a valid driver's license does not require you to be engaged in a commercial. I never said anything about this. I don't know why this person just says the same shit, and it's just like they're just regurgitating something. Like what it is. I think that is somebody that just basically used AI software, looked up all the cases, and just like I'm just going to keep responding in this manner to this person. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and use AI software and go back with this person. I personally don't give a damn. But okay, so I asked them to please cite your sources. This is straight from the motor vehicle code. I said if you can show the definition in Wisconsin law, I'd be shocked. I didn't say I was right. I wasn't wrong because I could be. I read the motor vehicle code, but I don't remember all that stuff like by the back of my hand. And when you make a video, it's easy for somebody to critique your video because they're not making videos. So like if you make this, even I may critique people's videos because after you make the video, it's pretty much out in the air. Now, unless you want to just keep editing it and editing it to get it perfect, I don't give a damn. Once I put it out, it's out. So look, there's no mandatory law that requires a person to possess a driver's license, which is a fact. Okay, that's not mandatory. The legislature's policy is not mandatory law. Okay, they can enforce it. You can go to jail. You can get Just that doesn't mean that through a court of law that they can prosecute you. And I'm going to show you that all of this law, all this case law, this person's putting up isn't worth shit. It's not. He or she wasted their time bringing this up. So look, okay. There's still no mandatory law that requires you to possess a driver's license. Also, you haven't provided one case that states it's mandatory. Okay. Yes, the executive branch and the legislative branch can have citations, but can the judicial branch enforce it? No. Every case you shared, because he followed me from another video, and that video is coming out soon too. The one I'm addressing this in. Every case you showed shared showed people who do not know the law, just like yourself. People appealing a traffic ticket laugh at my ass. Why the fuck would you appeal a traffic ticket? A traffic ticket shouldn't even get to appellate court. Hell, it shouldn't even get into court. This is also this is the context they're applying. Also, this is the context they are applying the word person, a legal person. Yes, it has to be a legal person because they didn't reference a natural person. They didn't. No, they just said a legal person. So really, it's a legal person. Okay, a legal person is a human or non-human entity, a non-human legal entity that is treated as a person for legal purposes. But did he just tell me, like, if you read this, he's going to say, well, it's the law, it's mandatory. Well, yeah, it applies to legal persons. That doesn't mean it applies to me. When you understand law, there can be no blanket law. All law has to be specific. Okay, it all has to be specific. If it's not specific, it doesn't apply. Duh. A legal person is capable of engaging in all usual legal business that a real person can participate in, such as suing, being sued, owning property, and entering into contracts. Duh, that's the meaning they mean when they're stating it under the citation. So basically, he found where I was wrong because I was actually wrong in the citation. So this was the citation where we were going over. So if you read it, it says pretty obvious. You don't have good reading comprehension skills or choosing to deliberately misinterpret the laws of Wisconsin. Okay, Wisconsin statute has sections covering licensing and commercial drivers and non-drivers. Okay, blah blah blah. Okay, we're gonna skip past commercial because we're not talking about that because this is commercial. Okay, so we're gonna go down to non-commercial. Okay, so look, this person can't read. Okay, you have to understand that the legislature they create law, but it has loopholes in it. So the way that they create it, it's vague. So it says no person may operate a motor vehicle which is not a commercial. Listen what the hell I'm saying. No person may operate a motor vehicle which is not a commercial vehicle upon the highway in this state unless the person possesses a valid operator's license issued to the person by the department, which is not revoked, suspended, canceled, or expired. So these are the terms because you have to contract with the state for this to be applicable for you. Let me read that again for you, slow person who keeps trolling. It says you may not operate without a commercial. It says no person may operate a motor vehicle which is not a commercial motor vehicle upon the highway in this state unless the person possesses a valid operator's license issued to the person by this department, which is not revoked. This is the full term. It doesn't say that you have to have it. It says it can't be revoked. They're talking about the possession of the license. They're saying that it can't be. It doesn't mean that you have to go down to the DMV and get a license to operate a motor vehicle. It's saying that it can't be revoked. It can't be suspended. It can't be canceled. Why? Because even if you have these licenses, then it applies. Okay. The, oh my goodness, boy! Some people are just so damn slow. Now, when we're getting into this person doesn't understand that it is not mandatory that I go to a driver's license, and it's not mandatory that I go to the DMV and fill out for a driver's license. It's not mandatory. That's what they're telling you. They're telling you if you have a license or you can't operate it if your license is revoked, suspended, or canceled. It doesn't say if you don't possess one. Oh my God. It says, unless the person possesses a valid operator's license issued by the state. Okay. That doesn't mean you have to go and get one. Okay. This is double speak. That's what I'm trying to tell this person. Okay. Look. So this is where I made a mistake. Okay. So let's see. The operator. Okay, the person who means who drives or who is actually in physical control of the vehicle. Okay, so where I said operator in the operator's license, those were different citations. So I was wrong there. Okay, we're gonna go down to this person's argument, and I'm gonna pick it apart because it's very easy to pick apart and before you even go into court. So you don't really have to deal with speeding tickets, driving tickets in that matter when you understand the ability of the court to enforce this versus the Constitution. Okay, possession of a driver's license isn't mandatory. Of course, it isn't. If you're not engaged in an activity for which the law in Wisconsin requires possession of that license. So what these people think is just because the legislature passes some type of citation that I have to go abide by that citation, which is not correct. So if you never intend to get behind the wheel of an automobile or some other motor vehicle in order to physically control it on the public roads, you do not need to you do not you needn't bother with getting a license. Of course, that means you will be traveling by other means. No, it doesn't. Listen how stupid this person is. So if I don't have a driver's license, I can't start a car. I don't have to have a driver's license to get into a car, fire it up, turn it, drive it, go on the road. I don't have to have a fucking driver's license for that. There's no cars that say, "Oh, scan your driver's license and then I'll start." No, if I have a car, I can hop in it, drive it up the road. Now, if a police officer pulls me over, the police officer could say, "Do you have a driver's license?" Well, guess what? I can say, is this driver's license going to be used against me in a court of law? If so, no, I don't have a driver's license on me. Now, why? Because I have a Fourth Amendment right, meaning I have rights too. Oh my God. Oh my God. I have rights too. See, I have a Fourth Amendment right. It says the people. It says the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, or papers. Okay, that means documents. What is a driver's license? A document. That means I don't have to give it to the police. So if I don't give it to the police, how are they going to find it? They have to search. All of this is violating my rights. But if I go down and contract with the DMV, what does the DMV say? If I give them my information, they can give it to law enforcement. So then guess what? I abridged my own rights, which is the Fifth Amendment. So how come these people know citations, they know case law, but they don't understand the Constitution? No person shall be held to answer for capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia when in actual service in the time of war or public danger, nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in the jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of the law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. Okay, Mr. Brainiac, let's get back to the Fourth Amendment. Why I don't have to provide this information to the police officer. Okay? So this deads your whole damn argument about I have to have a driver's license to move a motor vehicle in a state. I don't even have to provide it to the police officer. So what the hell are you talking about? The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures. Well, what does a police officer need to stop a vehicle? They need to witness you commit a crime with your vehicle. If they don't, it is just a routine stop. So if the police stop me, I don't have to provide them with shit unless they have proof that I commit a crime on my vehicle. Okay? So what is this person talking about? So the legislature can say that it's illegal, but the police officer can't even get the damn license unless I'm dumb enough to give it to him. Woo! Shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue. No warrant shall issue, but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. So if the police officer pulls me over and there is no warrant for my driver's license or nothing, it's not, what this person does not understand is I am not arguing that the legislature can pass a law and require, listen to the word I say, require that I have a driver's license. That is not the argument. The argument is, can they get that shit in court? And the answer is hell no, they can't. Look, we're gonna go back. So they're talking about the possession of the law. So okay, look, I said in the definition of a person of the citation. Okay, so I'm just looking for the definition of the person. Okay, because we're talking about a legal person. So what the legislature is basically saying is they're talking about the context of a legal person. Okay, they can sue you as a legal person. They can create a corporate state. They can create all these policies because they're fucking policies. But you have to understand the structure of civics. Okay, you have the federal, which is like, let's just say the federal government is like the corporate Walmart, right? So the corporate Walmart has the policies that govern the lower Walmarts. Okay, each state is like the lower Walmart. Okay, so each lower Walmart might say, okay, we might have our policies, but this is how we want to run our lower Walmart. But it doesn't supersede corporate, because if corporate comes down in that lower Walmart and they see that the lower Walmart is passing the wrong policy, the corporate Walmart is going to be like, 86 that shit, get it out of here. You see what I'm saying? So when you think about it from a corporate standpoint, this is the context of law. This is the civics of law. Okay. So this person doesn't know anything about civics, and all they do is troll accounts from fake accounts. You see people that start accounts that started like 10 days ago or a month ago or 2 months ago. They don't have no content on it. And then they got like 2 followers and stuff. Those are the people who create these accounts. And then they just troll people who I'm actually trying to help y'all and tell y'all shit. Now, the title was just to gravitate people over here for that, because we can have a discussion. Either if you don't agree with what I'm saying, we can have a discussion. But if you're not trying to actually talk about something of context, there's no reason to talk. You should never try to talk to somebody who's not listening to you. So what I said is, I said, I was looking for the definition of person in that citation because it doesn't give it. I said, laughing my ass off. You are slow wit. The reason why is because I was just done with this person. Okay. Or bot or whatever the hell it is. I said, just because the legislature passes some void statutes that vaguely could apply or not apply doesn't mean that they are enforceable in a court of law. Okay. That's all I care about. Is it enforceable in a court of law? Okay. Since a court can reject the citation that is repugnant to the Constitution, so the prosecutor would have a hard time proving I was engaged in those actions outside of court with an impartial venue and an impartial judge. You think I'd let that happen? No. You actually need to learn how court works. I can care less about the citation or case law. I don't care about case law. You can find 10 case laws that says this is illegal, and then you can find 10 that says that is legal. You see what I'm saying? But there's always a loophole of free will. So look, as I stated, the person meant a human being for some 800 years. I didn't ask you. I don't give a fuck what you say. Why would I care? Who the fuck are you? What does the legislature say a person is? They're going to tell you it's a legal person. Why? Because they want a sweeping application of the law. So look, which is actually under the vagueness doctrine is repugnant. But I got another video breaking that down for you guys. So I'm not going to go over it. So look, in the English language, okay, pretending you're not a person will not work as a valid. I never said it was a valid argument. That's why it's like talking to a kid. Pretending you're not a person. I wouldn't even let this get into court. Why would I let a traffic citation get into court? That's stupid. I would come on, man. See, I used to do that stupid shit, let the traffic citation get into court. I wouldn't let that shit get into court. Why would you? Okay. Look at the courts across the US have rejected the argument that a driver's license possession and a vehicle registration law. I didn't even say anything about a vehicle registration. This person is making this shit up. So look, the Supreme Court has ruled over 100 years ago in the decision of Hendrick versus Maryland, 23 versus US 610, 1915, that the state has the authority to enact laws regulating the use of the roads for public safety or order, including licensing up. I never said they didn't. If you sit back, look, what do I say? Just because the legislator passes some statutes that could vaguely apply to me, apply or not, doesn't mean they are enforceable. Even this dumbass reads this case, and the case basically says what I'm fucking saying. So I don't know why this person is arguing with me, but what I'm saying is correct. The state can pass the laws, they can license it. There's nothing that says that they can't. I never said that there was. That's what you don't understand. The state can do that. It doesn't mean that they can get me in it. So look, we'll go over this just even though this person is not really, they're just, I think it's a bot account, but it doesn't matter. Okay, that a state has the authority to enact laws regulating the use of its roads for public safety and or order, including the licensing of drivers. Yeah, they have the ability to do that. Of drivers, listen to what you're talking about. Drivers, meaning a commercial aspect, and registration of vehicles. These are all commercials. This is all commercial. And that this authority applies to all of the users of the state's roads. Okay? So the authority can apply, but here's the issue. This person doesn't understand it still has to get through the judicial branch. It still has to get through the judicial branch. That's why there's a separation of powers to check shit like this. Because if the legislature could, they would make everything illegal just to gain revenue in the state. So then people, if the legislature and the judicial bled together, then people we would never be able to get out of any of this stuff. Never. And then you would have a totalitarian dictatorship, which would never happen in history. Okay, look, the court in Hendrick versus Maryland wrote that this is but an exercise of of police power uniformly recognized as belonging to the states and essential preservation of the health, safety, and comfort of their citizens, meaning control of their citizens. That's really what they're saying. Look, the United States Supreme Court, despite what you may have seen falsely claimed on the internet, have never ruled under law requiring a driver's license unconstitutional. I've never said that. This person keeps saying the same shit over and over. I never said that. I never said that them requiring a driver's license is unconstitutional. I never said that because I understand the policing powers. I know that they can require you to have a driver's license. That doesn't make it mandatory. Okay, you have to understand every entity can have, like, if I go into, like, say if I go into a Kroger, right, or a Publix, right, a Kroger or Publix has its own laws and policies. If I don't follow Kroger or Publix's laws, they can kick me out of the store, but they can't arrest me. Now, if they ask me to leave, that's a violation of a statute or a law. So then that's a violation of a statute or law. So yes, then the police, they could call the police and the police could arrest me. Now, after the police arrest me, if they bring me in front of a magistrate or bring me, give me a traffic ticket and I appear, I'd say, well, y'all don't have standing because I'm already out of the place. How you gonna still sue me on the ticket that when you said I was trespassing when I left? So this ticket is not valid anymore. You see what I'm saying? So like what happens is most people do not understand the like you don't understand law at all. So like if I get a citation, that citation is not going to see the light of day in court. So if you pull me out of a store saying I was trespassing, I'm not trespassing anymore, Your Honor. The court lacks jurisdiction to hear this. There's nobody injured by that past trespass. There's no complaint. There's no stolen merchandise. There's no injury. So what do you think I'm going to do? Move to terminate the case. Oh my God. So look, we agree that the states have a vital interest. He keeps telling me states' rights. I know states' rights. I already know the states' rights. So that's why I don't understand why this person keeps following me just to tell me, oh, you do have to have a driver's license. No, you don't. It's a choice. Just like I can eat shit for the rest of my life and die. That doesn't mean I can't eat shit because it's mandatory in state law. No, I chose to do that. So there are repercussions behind everything you choose. That's how you know this person doesn't even know natural law. So look, we agree that the states have a vital interest in ensuring that only those qualified to do so are permitted to operate motor vehicles. Of course, they're going to say that. Why are they not going to say that? Because who maintains the revenue in the state? By how much money does the state generate for telling people to get driver's license? Tons of fucking money. And then they give you a driver's license, and then they keep hitting you up with citations if you violate them, and they use the driver's license to make the citation like a credit card. This idiot don't even know that. He probably man, I'm even gonna go into that. Look, that these vehicles are fit for safe operation, and hence that licensing, registration, and vehicles. What they did is they took something that applied to corporate drivers or commercial drivers, and they applied it to non-commercial drivers. That's what they did. But that doesn't mean that the non-commercial driver is bound by it. Inspections required are being observed. Automobile licenses are issued periodically to evidence that the drivers. No, it doesn't. When you get your license and you redo your license, they're not taking you on no driving test again. You can just see this as a scam. So anyway, holding them sufficiently familiar with the rules of the road and are physically qualified to operate motor vehicle. The registration requirement, and more pointedly, there are annual inspection requirements in Delaware are designated. So this ain't even got nothing to do with what I'm. This ain't even got nothing to do with the state of Wisconsin. But okay, I'll let them have it. Are designated to keep dangerous automobiles off the road. Unquestionably, they're talking. This is really commercial shit. This doesn't really have to do with your private vehicle, but you fall under it because you still contract with the state. That's why. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Since you contract with the state, you fall under those citations. Okay, unquestionably, these provisions properly administered are essential elements for in a highway safety program. Furthermore, we note that the state of Delaware requires minimum amount of insurance coverage as a condition to an automobile registration. Implementing it is legitimate interest in seeing to it that its citizens have protection while involved in a motor vehicle accident. Okay, this is a policy. Okay, the state has the right to pass policy and enforce the policy. I never said they didn't. But does the judiciary? The evidence is no. So we're going to go through some of these citations, and I'm just going to kind of keep it quick because I don't want to make this no hour video addressing this idiot multiple times. Okay. It is repeated its position in a 2020 when it ruled a traffic stop that resulted in a man being convicted for driving with a revoked license was constitutional. See, a revoked license, meaning the revoked license. Now they cannot force him to get a license. See, these people, these cases that he's bringing up, these are people with revoked licenses and terminated licenses. That you're in the system when you get a license. Once you get licensed with the state, then they can hit you up just with that statute I showed you before. Because what? Your license is revoked. If you never contract with the state, they cannot do that. And even if they do, you're still going to get it dismissed anyway. Okay. We have previously recognized that the states have a vital interest in ensure. Yes, they have a vital interest. Listen to what this idiot is telling me. Of course, they have a vital interest in it because they're profiting from it. So yes, they have a vital interest. They are profiting from it. That's what they're telling you. They're not telling you that this is mandatory. You must do it. You must. No, they're not telling you that. They're telling you that they have a vital interest, ensuring that only those qualified to do. See, what they're doing is acting as if they care about the people. You're talking about a state that force people to get vaccines that they don't even know what's in the vaccine. You're talking about a state that allows all kind of bullshit to be put in people's foods, poison in the water. This state, all of a sudden, now they care about people behind a motor vehicle? Stop it, man. Stop it. The license and registration and vehicle inspections requirement are being observed. Okay. I never said anything to this person that the state can't do this. They can, but the judiciary is not going to enforce it if you bring up the right argument. So look, and no, the man wasn't engaged in it. Who cares? You should really care about the citations of a case law. No, I don't. I don't care about it because it's not. It doesn't matter when it comes to what is and isn't a violation of your rights under the U.S. Constitution. Yeah, I know what a violation of my rights under the U.S. Constitution is. That's why I don't need case law to tell me that. I can read the Constitution and it tells me the law. So why do I need somebody's interpretation of what the law is? It doesn't. It doesn't matter. So the U.S. Supreme Court has the last word. Yeah, this person thinks that another person governs them. I know no one governs me. So we're two different people. This person, if you tell them, if a police officer tells them, get out of the car, he's like, oh, let me get out of the car. Let me tap dance for you. You want to look at my butthole too? Okay, look, the very fact that you refer to laws or citation as repugnant to the Constitution gives a lie to your claim that you don't care about the actual case law. Well, this idiot doesn't know what elements of the Constitution I'm saying is repugnant. It's hard to talk to somebody when you're talking in the comment section because it's only so much you can talk about. So, and it is not quite easy to prove that you are driving without a license if you are caught doing so. No. This idiot understands that you still have to get that in the evidence, right? You still have to get that in the evidence. How are you gonna prove that I don't have a driver's license? What you gonna look up my DMV record that doesn't exist? How are you gonna prove that? You still that's why you have to understand some people are fucking communists. If they could, they would just say, do what you're told. That's why I'm not a conservative and I'm not a liberal. I do not play that shit. Because conservatives try to control people and liberals try to control people. I try to control myself. That's all I can control. I can't control anybody else. I can control how I react to people. Okay, the fact that the fact that you produce no license when ordered to do so by a cop, and there is no recording of you possessing a license, would indicate that you do not have a required license. You are not the first to make these ineffective arguments. What is he talking about? I'm not arguing this in court. He thinks I'm actually arguing the citation. Why the fuck would I argue the citation? That would give the court jurisdiction. I'm not arguing the citation. I'm arguing the stop. Do you have a warrant? No. Toss the case. Do the police officer have a warrant issued by a court of competent authority? No. Toss the case. Were there exigent circumstances? No. Toss the case. He doesn't understand that the evidence that don't matter what, the traffic ticket can't get into court because I know the law. Sir, that's not the argument. Semantics or case law, person or not person. It is for the prosecution to prove their case. What did I say? It's for the prosecution to prove their case because he has to understand all of that citations, all of that case law has to do with people who do not know how to argue in court. If you go into court arguing that it's your right to not have a driver's license, you're going to lose. If you go into court saying that you have the constitutional right to travel and for the state to force you to get a driver's license is abridging on that right, you're going to lose. Why? Because I don't need to go to the court for the court to tell me my rights. I already know my fucking rights. So let's go to what I responded to this idiot real quick. Sir, that is not the argument. Semantics or the case law. Person or not is for the prosecution to prove their case. What do you not get? I'm sorry, my grammar is terrible on this. It's atrocious. I don't go into court arguing the validity of the application of a case or statute or if it infringes on my right. I don't argue none of that shit because you're still arguing from the prosecutor's case. I'm not giving the prosecutor a case. I'm going to take his prosecution away because I'm going to take his evidence away. The prosecution cannot prove their case in most instances regarding of how much case law you or they use or the citations. This has nothing to do with the court process, and it doesn't. The court process and the application of law of a lawsuit is all that I focus on, not that BS case law or garbage statutes. In every case I've won, I've never applied one statute or case law. I bring up the process of the court. The infraction is separate from the process. What don't you understand? There's a huge error that wins 100% of the time when you apply it. I can't believe I let a fake troll account waste this much of my time. Deuces. You still haven't brought up one case that proves me wrong. Every case you brought up proves my point. A state can make something illegal. They still have to prove it in court. It applies. Court. It applies and have evidence to support the claim. Since the administrative court cuts corners, which they do, that's why you have to object in certain instances of having your case heard by a magistrate or in these lower courts, because these administrative courts will cut. They're communists like that person. Okay, cut corners to process these claims. They have huge defects which are easy to defeat. So here's this person again, regurgitating the same thing. The law requires the possession of the license behind the wheel of the same shit. Telling me the law requires, what the fuck does that mean to me? What does that mean to me? Nothing. Not a damn thing. You are quite clueless about the law and your actual rights. No, I know my rights. You don't. I've never said I have a fundamental right to control a motor vehicle free of laws. I keep telling you that the legislature can pass any law it wants. It doesn't mean the judiciary will or can enforce it. It seems you may lack understanding of how the separation of powers works. The traffic stop is an out-of-court event. What can you not wrap your head around? The prosecutor has a job to convict me, not the legislature or the executive branch, unless it is an administrative hearing. See, a lot of you guys go into court and you're arguing with the judge, you're arguing with them. The prosecutor is the person who is trying to convict you. So why the hell are you arguing with the judge? People telling you go to court, put a trust on the judge. What are you talking about? The judge ain't trying to convict me. The prosecutor is. The fuck are you talking about? I just get the judge Form 56 and then I left it with my trustee. Y'all just be regurgitating shit, don't have no knowledge. You never even read the instructions of a Form 56 or a 56F. The traffic stop is an out-of-court event. Remember that. It is an out-of-court event. Okay? So now, with it being an out-of-court event, what the hell does the Fifth Amendment say again? It says that no person, see, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor to be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. Let's go back to the Fourth Amendment. Very simple. Okay. The right of people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. Okay. Now, somebody requesting your driver's license is not really an unreasonable search or seizure, is it? It's not. But no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause. They better have a probable cause for compelling it. And it better be supported by oath or affirmation. Now you see why I can get a traffic ticket bounced out? It's telling you, and particularly describing a place to be searched and the persons or things to be seen. So they have to have a warrant to compel me to even bring out my driver's license. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. They have to have a warrant. So after this, I just stopped answering the person because you know when you're talking to somebody and they don't actually care about the outcome, you just avoid it. So look, unfortunately for you, the courts did not agree. You have a fundamental right to control an automobile free of the laws and take a wild guess. Who will be determining your guilt or innocent of alleged violation of a state motor vehicle code, such as a requirement to possess a valid license? It won't be your friends in some local club or diner. This person is hilarious. Okay. And since the state of appeals, that's why I told this dumbass that you should never have a traffic ticket get into the court of appeals. Because you have to understand a traffic ticket is not something that you argue over a appellate court. Like it's not even something that should even get that far. And look, when you're arguing in a court of appeals, you're not arguing a traffic ticket in a court of appeals. You're arguing the court process. That's how you know this dumbass don't even understand court process. Because an appeal is not to appeal what happened to you. The appellate court can only review what the lower court did. It's just like going into a Burger King and then you talking to the cashier, and then the cashier try to tell you like you're like, oh man, there's a special. I seen a special on the internet that's for four Whoppers for $5. And then you go to the cashier rings it up, and the Whoppers ringing up to $12. And then you arguing with the cashier, like, hey, can you just get your manager, man? Because I seen the coupon. I have a coupon with me. The coupon should go. Who do you go to? You go to the manager, and the manager does what? Overrides the cashier. That's what the appellate court is doing. The manager is not telling you, oh, your coupon's not valid, it's out to date. No, if your coupon is in the date, the manager is going to say, okay, we have to honor that coupon. We'll just override it. That's what appellate court is. This idiot doesn't know that these people are appealing cases that are not appealable. That's why they keep getting shot down. Oh my God. And since the state of appeals, okay, whatever. Okay, the plaintiff's argument that the right to operate a motor vehicle is fundamental because its relation to the fundamental right of interstate travel, Shapiro versus Thompson, okay, is utterly frivolous. Okay, yes, it is frivolous. Okay, this person is not even supposed to be in appellate court. That's what this jackass doesn't understand. That's why I try to tell you guys I do not argue case law because I do not. When you're getting case law from the Court of Appeals, you have to see the initial case. You have to see their initial pleading of what happened, and then that tells you the story. But you know what? When it goes in the appellate court, it's a different case. So you can't see what the individual pled in the lower court unless they reference it in the Court of Appeals. So most of y'all that read case law don't even fucking know that shit. That's why I don't read the shit, because I read it to a degree, but I really don't read it that tough because I know that it's people like this that what he's trying to do is use it to support his argument, but he's not hearing the other argument. That how the hell are you going to pass this in lower court? You can't because lower court is an evidentiary court. They have to have evidence of you not having a driver's license, and then that evidence has to get on the record, and then from that evidence, which they can't do anyway because of the traffic, so they're not even going to do. They're not even going to follow the laws to get you in the court. So the plaintiff is not being prevented from interstate traveling to interstate. I never said anything like this. I'm just his fucking cases are just terrible. We reject Mr. Wiseman's claim that the motor vehicle code interferes with unconstitutionally. It doesn't with his right to travel because it doesn't. This idiot keeps giving me these cases, and I agree with the cases because the people who are pleading incorrectly. That's why I tell you I don't listen to case law. It's a waste of your time. If a person doesn't know what they're doing in the lower court, then they really don't know what they're doing in the appellate court. So, yeah, because the appellate court is going to be where you really need to know your shit. The lower court, you don't need to know shit. Look at half of the shit. Look at half of the shitty ass pleadings that go in the lower court. They don't even give the court jurisdiction in most of the pleadings. They don't even give the court jurisdiction in the pleadings. So you're supposed to give the court jurisdiction in the pleadings before you even bring it in the fucking case. Because that's the number one argument is going to be what? Jurisdiction. Oh, yeah. I'm not even going to read all this shit. The ability, so this person, City of Salina versus Wisden, right? Okay, so this case law is not an appellate case law. I don't really care anyway. But the ability to drive a motor vehicle on a public roadway is not a fundamental right. I didn't say it was a right. It doesn't have to be a right recognized by the state for me to do it. I could go out and do whatever the fuck I want to. It doesn't have to be recognized by the state. Come on, man. So, yeah, this is talking about a license being revoked. This is a person that went down to the DMV and fucking got a license. This is about a person that has a license. These aren't people who don't have licenses. If you have a suspended or revoked license, that means you had a license at one time. So that means you have a contract and an agreement with the state. Even if it's suspended, it still exists. Oh, yeah. To give a motor vehicle is a fundamental right. It's a revocable privilege. They're just telling you that they can revoke the license that they created. This person's retarded, man. I'm done with this video, man. Oh, my God.